guess what? Guess what? I have finally finished this book. Talk about a labor of love. So, this is my pre-release thoughts. The book will be out next week. Patrons will get it sooner, and then it'll be available on my website, and then it'll be available on Amazon. That's how my cadence goes with these things. But I don't think I've ever been so glad to finish something up. I know that a large part of that is because I'm so pregnant. I'm so I am so pregnant and so over it and so ready to just not have to use my mental processes for quite as much, my mental and emotional processes for quite as much. But with that said, I absolutely love Nalani and Orion. The back and forth, the banter between these two is just top notch. Loved every second of that. I struggle with calling it a true enemies to lovers because most of the animosity is more the animosity is more from her end than his. But it's there, and they have their moments. So fair warning that I can't do these pre-release thoughts without some mild-ish spoilers. Nothing really central to the plot or anything like that, but I do, there are some things that I do need to bring up. First thing is length, which is not a spoiler, but we're coming in right under 90,000 words, which will make this my first straight up contemporary romance release in a good little minute, in a good while. Like it's been a minute. And I think that I had lost touch with how much mental energy it takes to stay with a couple for that long, because I've been writing novellas and stuff like that, which I think is more suited for where I am just mentally now, but whatever, it is what it is. But yes, they are hefty. It's not the longest book I've written. I think the longest book I've written is probably one of the Connecticut Kings books, or maybe like Ante Up. I think Ante Up is over 100,000. But yeah, like I said, right under 90,000 words. So it's got some heft to it. Another thing is that we're going to see lots and lots of cameos, but don't let looking for the cameos trick you into thinking that everyone is someone that you've met before, because you haven't. Most of the cameos are very well established characters, and so you won't be there won't really be any ambiguity about it. Like we see the Byers sisters, the Byers twins, the lawyers, Dimitri and Desiree. We see them. We hear about a couple of people here and there. I do mention some people that you're going to see later on, but don't let it. If I don't go into detail, it's not that important. I promise. Like, don't overthink it. Like anything that's important, you'll hear about it on the page. I promise. Otherwise, it's not that important. It's just the way that my brain works. Like, oh, they're going to visit a chocolate shop. Of course, they're going to visit Viv's chocolate shop in the Heights. Of course, they're going to go to the Heights for that, But it's not important. It's not important at all. So don't let yourself kind of get wrapped up in that. I will say that I was caught off guard with some of I won't call it a mystery element, because I think calling it a mystery element is overstating it, but some of kind of the family secrets and stuff that kind of come out, I was very caught off guard with that. I did not go in intending to write those type of things, but it happened, and so I went with it as well as I could, and I hope that I was able to balance it where the story sticks with the romance. Like, we definitely get the character development in the form of that backstory that happens with the family secrets and all of that, but very much focused on the romance. With that said, there's something I need to tell you about the romance. Again, this is a spoiler. If you don't want to hear it, skip ahead a couple minutes or something like that. But the pacing of this story, y'all know, I like to try my best to be realistic with it. As such, when you hit the end of this story, even though this is a marriage of convenience story, they're not, there's no I love yous exchanged between them before the end of this book. Because that would not be because that would not be realistic given the dynamic that they've had throughout the whole book and the time period that the whole book takes place over. The whole book takes place over the span of months, and not even a full 6 months, maybe a full 6 months, but I don't even think it's a full 6 months. And so it's unrealistic for them to be making these big sweeping declarations in that time. For this couple, I think that there are couples who that would work for this couple that does not work. And so I did not try to squeeze myself into that mold, even though I know that's, you're reading romance, you want to see a certain thing, and I understand that and I appreciate it, but I also hope that you can appreciate me as the artist. I hope you can trust me with my own characters, because I certainly trust me with my characters. I hope that you can as well, and know that I'm still going to deliver a full story. It's just not necessarily, it might not necessarily wrap up the way you might want your romance novels to wrap up, just being honest. But it's still good. It's still good. I'm very confident in that. And I can say that because I know the journey that these characters went on, with the way their dynamic very, very first starts to where they land, at the end of the book. And then in the epilogue, we really kind of see more of how it develops in the time that they've spent off screen. I did not want to do a time jump in the book, because I feel like if I had done that time jump, I feel like there would have been I feel like it would have taken a lot of telling versus showing to make it kind of fold together the way that it needs to when you do time jumps, which I think can be utilized very, very well. But I did not have the space for that in this book. But there is a time jump between the end of the book and the epilogue. If you've seen the cover, I know you've seen that it says Black Wit Billions 1. It is in my mind for this to be a full series. Orion and the other Sterling brothers. You meet the brothers. You also meet their heroines, who are Nalani's friends. So everything kind of gets, the groundwork gets laid, right? But just again, a heads up. I'm real close to having a baby, guys, and I cannot promise when those books are going to come out. Honestly, I can't promise that those books are going to come out, but nothing in this book is dependent upon a second book coming out. Is a second or third book coming out. It's absolutely a true standalone, and so you don't have to worry about any. There's no cliffhangers or anything like that. I think that I did a really good job of closing up any loose ends, tying any loose strings or anything like that. So again, there's not any cliffhangers or anything like that to worry about, but there are other books planned in the series, and not just other books, but also a spinoff. Also, there is a family mentioned, the Blacks, who are mentioned. Their novella series is introduced with Curiosity, which is solely available on the CCJ Romance site. It is a vampire. It's paranormal. It's paranormal, but there are no paranormal elements in Hostile Takeover. Everybody just kind of knows to kind of keep a little space from them. I don't think they really know, or maybe don't fully accept the fullness of what the Blacks are. I don't think they know. I don't think that the regular person would know, but they do know they creepy. Let's give them some, we need to give them 50 feet, but they do get introduced, and there are other books planned in that series as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. If there's anything that, if there's any questions or anything that you have about the book, just drop them in the comments below, and I'll be able, and I'll do my best to come back to answer those questions. Price point is probably going to be $7.99 ish, something like that, is what I'm thinking. It might be a little cheaper on my site than it is on Amazon. I have not made that decision yet. I'm iffy on if I'm going to do it on KU or not. It might be a thing of, we'll hit KU in a few months, we'll be available on Amazon next week, but it might be a few months before before it goes into the KU library, but it will eventually go into the KU library because I want it to be accessible. No plans for audio quite yet. It will be on my list of projects to bring to audio, but it is not in production. It's not in production, and I do not have as much control over narrators as you might think I do, even though I will be producing it myself. It's not as in my control as you might think. And so while I welcome you to, to give your suggestions for who you like to hear, not see, but who you like to hear in those roles, understand that, everybody's schedule and availability and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to depend heavily on a lot of that. But, I'll do my best. It'll ride, okay? Like, it'll be good no matter who, ends up doing it. It'll be good, but we'll see, we'll kind of see as that comes along. Paperbacks, my patrons will get paperbacks first. As always, they will get paperbacks first. And then I will see about availability of making those available to the public. Patrons will get a special edition version that I cannot guarantee will be the version that is available to the public, especially once it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Once it's available on the mainstream sites, I think that the version that you'll be able to get directly from me will be a little more special than the one that will be available kind of everywhere. So we'll see. There's a lot of we'll see, but I am finished with this book. I'm finished with this book. And not only am I finished, it is already through proofreading because my editor is top notch. Nicole Falls at Trim and Polish, if you ever have those type of needs. But she has already gotten me together with it. What else? I think that's it. I'm out of breath and I have not had breakfast this morning. I got up, I washed my face, I brushed my teeth, I put on some little lipstick and some little mascara. Like, I'm going to record these pre-release thoughts today, and I have not eaten anything. I have not even had a drink of water this morning, aside from like when I first got up. But anyway, see, tangents, always tangents. But anyway, I'm very, very excited for you guys to read this project. Again, my patrons will get it before everyone else. And then after that, it'll be available on the CCJ Romance site. And then after that, it will be available on Amazon. But I will, I'll keep you guys updated via social media postings, my newsletter, if you're signed up for text messages, all that. We'll get it together. I'll keep you informed. When it's available, I promise you, I will make sure to let you know. But until then, thank you guys as always for your support, and thank you for watching, and I'll holla. Bye.